Our boy Aoki finally has the title shot he's been dreaming of, that he desires, and like a frog with perfect drip, he will get it. As we first find him looking quite disgustingly skinny, because he's not able to engage in his weight cutting, having cut way too much. I mean, what the hell is this? I mean, the man floated to the ground after getting shook. He's betting his entire career on this, by the way. And then an even bigger time skip happens, and he proceeds to eat the entire building. His opponent is the champion Ime, who despises how Aoki fights, like a majestic frog in the wind, or a creepy clown with a smile. Clearly someone has a short fuse, and on the day of the weigh-ins, Ime opens that door and Aoki is just standing with his little frog out. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I'd stare him in the eyes to assert my dominance, but that's just me. Or probably laugh. This man shows the king of the jungle disrespect, but our boy has a trick up his sleeve, or the shorts he had down moments ago, with Ime refusing to shake his hand, insulting his pride as a boxer, which Aoki will not tolerate, declaring he has a new special move, one to surpass the frog punch and finish this little smug bastard once and for all. As both men stare each other down, I mean, this man insulted the frog punch. That's too far now. You can insult anything you want, but insult the frog and you get the fisting. Unrelated to Aoki, but we find out Ime has a woman. He proceeds to be very rude to her, and the woman turns around with, I suppose, an outdated piece of humor, but let's be honest. As we skip to Aoki, completely nervous and terrified, as this is his first title opportunity, with Tomiko promising to make it all better in a very specific way, let's be honest with you. And with her by his side, he has nothing to fear. And Takamura is not happy about that, by the way. Right before the fight happens, Ime and Aoki are exchanging a conversation in the toilets of all places, as their conversation drifts off to the doom that Ime faces as he has cut the goddess off in his life, with Ime doing the only logical response, guys, turning his entire body by a complete 90-degree clockwise turn to face Aoki while still using the urinal. Firstly, I don't know why he didn't think that through, like, are you insane, brother? Secondly, Ime straight took a piss on this man. If that's not a declaration of war, I don't know what is, because if that was me personally, I'd have styled on him. And also, they're standing right next to each other. This is like a direct violation of the codes, guys. Come on now. Frogs don't like this, or most people. Why the hell was Aoki standing next to him? It's time for the match. Aoki's blood, sweat, and more importantly, his semen has led up to this moment. This is the title, the dream he has craved for so long, as he makes his entrance like a king, getting psyched up from all our favourite characters, taking a nice leap into the ring with the drip he possesses, as both men have an intense stare down. Aoki has never looked so ready, as the bell finally rings with both men etching closer, with them waiting for each other to make the first move. Clearly Ime is scared of Aoki's raw power as they bounce like NPCs. Aoki realizes that Ime is so boring he will not engage, so he decides he's gonna have to be that guy. After all, he is him, diving in like a titan and sliding to his side with what is the weirdest look I've seen in my life. He looks ready for something, but to our surprise, Ime fires a flurry of lefts, landing cleanly before giving a right hook. A pretty basic fighting style, because as it turns out, Ime is the most basic bitch in the history of basic bitches. The man lives and dies by the book, unlike boxers like Hajime No Ippo, you know, Takamura and Azora, and guys who do the moonwalk in the ring. Ime lives and dies by the basics, and I do understand it, even if everyone hates the poor guy for it. But Aoki has figured him out, ducking down as he prepares the strongest punch in fiction, the frog punch, as Ime slips it, barely getting caught, but it still leaves a nasty mark as Aoki prepares to use the Aoki style, taking the entire anime's budget with some Mickey Mouse goofy sliding punches from every possible angle, drifting like its initial D Spitfire on the canvas. This is what he does. Aoki is the man you can't predict. I mean, what the hell is this? Mr. Unpredictable, that's what. Ime cannot handle the sheer aura as Aoki dodges like he has ultra instinct if it was done by the frog goat, even making a nice little hop. How cute, Aoki. His movements are confusing, but Ime is beginning to realize what's happening as Aoki prepares a frog punch just to get countered with a devastating attack. I mean, Aoki nearly died then and there. Look at him, he's on the floor with his hind legs up. That was violent, bro. But you know what they say about frogs, guys? They die 10 times. As Aoki MJs his way up, stretching those legs as he prepares to avenge the frog, just for Ime to give the lightest jab of all time as Aoki crumples down to the floor. His knees barely holding up. Our boy is cooked. He's done. Aoki, you are done. As Ime fires an abusive barrage in Desperation, with Aoki escaping by a thread, so it's almost a matter of time, isn't it? Ime is getting cocky, but frogs have 10 lives, guys. We get a cinematic montage of the round, with Aoki getting pummeled, barely holding himself up as he takes abuse, with an orchestra in the background, which is kind of funny to be honest with you. As Ippo notices something, Aoki hasn't really been getting hit. Aoki seems pretty okay, as the round ends, as he walks calmly to his corner with a fire in his eyes. The frog was bluffing, and Ime is devastated. This is the craziest strategy ever, but that's Aoki's beauty, the man who tricks everyone. It's like what they say, frogs aren't real. The end. The round starts as he begins to toy with Ime, let's be honest, as he has all the energy in the world, weaving like a god and giving Ime a few little love taps. It's all on the master plan, you see, playing dead, and since Ime has realized it, he is angry as Aoki fires a thunderous punch to his chin before giving another little combo, nearly crumbling him. You take down the frog and you get the horns. Do frogs have horns? I think they do. Ime is exhausted, but he's not even just physically exhausted, he is mentally destroyed. No one could have predicted this as Aoki fights like a dream out there. His special move is ready, whatever he has planned is prepared, and he will use it in this round, betting it all on this one attack. And let's be honest, this scene was hype as the round begins, with Ime knowing he has to stop Mr. Frog from getting into his flow state. Ime fires his left as Aoki rushes in, sliding across the ground, preparing a punch, with Ime unable to stop it as Aoki lunges in, but then Aoki stops, and then he turns his head, and then Ime starts turning his head, and then the crowd turns their head. And then, a sound rings out and Ime is left on the floor in a crumpled heap as Aoki celebrates. What has just happened, ladies and gentlemen? Apparently it was the frog punch, hidden under the cloak of human weakness. I'm sorry, this man had so much aura. He made everyone in the arena stop and look where he was looking, and then knocked Ime down in the span of a second. It's time we put Aoki as the head of the table, guys. He might be the strongest character in fiction. Ime gets up and he's desperately clinching, but it's Aoki's time. Ime understands that Aoki isn't just a clown. He actually has a lot of skill, as the mastermind readies the look away part 2. It worked as we finally get to see what he did fully. The frog punch, landing cleanly yet again, knocking Ime down for a second time. The frog has risen from its grave and it is in full swing, or jump. It's also kind of funny how Takamura, the man who can do anything, can never see through this move.
I mean, if that happened to me, I'd kill myself.
Aoki knows he'll never beat Ippo or Takamura, but a frog can leap, and he'll leap towards that belt. As Ime barely makes it to his feet, the belt is still far, but it's still there. Aoki is also mentally and physically tired at this point. The pressure is building, but frogs eat pressure. It tastes like chicken. While Ime wonders what the hell Aoki has that he doesn't, a goddess of victory, aka a woman, and frogs are gods too, guys. The determination is written on Aoki's face as Kimura cheers because that's my favorite character. As Ime slowly realizes what he needs, the bond that Aoki has that lets him push this hard. As Aoki continues to land his blows with a desperate clinch, this man has his mind on the ladies as Aoki gives him a gut check. And ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time. Aoki readies the look away, and it's all over. The greatest supporting cast in fiction knows the result. He's been caught hook, line, and most certainly sinker. But then Ime stares behind him, not turning his head to the frog and not looking at hell itself, but instead noticing the lady he abandoned, the lady who prayed for him despite his behavior. As Aoki slowly steps towards him. Why are you there? Which is kind of funny. He looks like a tiny child as Ime slips out the way, with Aoki flying in the sky like Superman, like Lucy in the sky with diamonds. I know I've made that joke before getting punched in mid-air, which is probably illegal, but then Aoki pulls a Kamigawa type planting of his feet, throwing the weirdest punch in fiction as both men exchange. They are so drained they just start giving each other love taps, and due to the exhaustion they both fall, like a swamp kinda. We're in the final round, guys. Both men are on death's door. A single blow could push them over. They are empty in every manner of speaking, as Tomiko calls Aoki cool, but says though, get yourself someone like Tomiko, that's a real partner. Ime fires a right, smashing against Aoki's jaw, just for the man to pull another Kamigawa plant times 10 billion as he notices that exposed jaw. And ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time too, as the frog begins to rise like an angel, a god, a sexy ass demon. As his feet lift off the ground, it'll be this match's 5th and final frog punch as the intense music hits its peak as he connects, the power of the frog god flowing in his veins. But then it turns out it wasn't a frog punch, it was more of a frog hop. I mean, Aoki barely got off the ground as both men collapse. Who will be the victor of this war? One of the best fights in the anime and manga, by the way. But who will get the decision? As I sit in anticipation. The judges ready their score, 1 to Ime, 1 to Aoki. Split decision time as the final judge declares it a draw.
This guy stinks!
First of all, that's bullshit. Aoki won that. Secondly, I mean a draw. No one likes a draw, guys. And sadly for our frog, he will not win the belt. The frog's jump was just too short as he realizes the pain of losing, and to be honest with you, I think we're all in pain. We're not boxers, but we still feel sad. As Aoki thinks about the result, thinking about retirement, but he sees that Takamura has got a bitch slapped by his girlfriend for having the audacity to slander the king of the jungle. And by the way, what makes the frog the king of the jungle, guys? It's his aura, and nothing else, obviously. Like every character, he's Aoki versal. We all know frogs are the strongest animals. Aoki versus the Persona guy, it's a massacre in the favor of our goat. That being said, however, Kimura and him have gotten so close and they're always so far. Sometimes, guys, frogs don't jump high enough and then they die. The end. Aoki realizes that Ime has got his girl as Tomiko consoles him in a very sad scene as Takamura prepares to apologize, before everyone realize that Aoki is getting his own happy ending in his bedroom, if you guys get what I mean. So good for him, let's be honest. It really is Princess and the Frog. As I said, I do believe this is one of the best fights in Hajime no Ippo. It's not as good as Kimura and Mashira, but it's still very good. Aoki's style is just so funny, let's be honest. So in the manga, Aoki is currently average. Hopefully he gets the belt he deserves. And also the fact that Takamura can't see through that move is hilarious. So that's all, folks.